Before Iran knew its border had been breached, 41 U.S. Rangers were already falling through the darkness. No moon, no warning, no second chance. Only black sky above them, and 2 Iranian surveillance outposts waiting below. For months, Iran had quietly built a hidden surveillance network along its western border. Not ordinary watchtowers. A full intelligence grid designed to track every aircraft moving near the mountains, every radar sweep, every radio signal, every movement in the sky. And for 9 months, nobody touched it. Until that night. 2 days earlier, American bombers had already crippled parts of Iran's air defense system. Command centers went dark. Missile batteries stopped talking. But 2 border outposts were still alive, still watching, still reporting, still feeding information back into Iran's military network. As long as those outposts stayed online, Iran could still see, and Washington wanted those eyes gone. That mission went to the Rangers. High above the border, 2 MC-130 aircraft crossed silently into hostile airspace. Inside, 41 Rangers waited in darkness. No one spoke. No one needed to. Every man already knew the plan. 2 teams, 2 targets, 1 narrow window. Because if one outpost spotted the attack before the second was hit, the entire mission could collapse in seconds. Both targets had to disappear at exactly the same time. Captain Marcus Webb led the northern team. For 11 days, he had studied the ridge. Satellite photos, terrain models, night rehearsals. By the time he jumped, he knew that mountain better than the men guarding it. At 2,000 feet, his parachute opened. Seconds later, his boots hit stone. One by one, Rangers landed across the ridge in complete silence. No lights, no voices. Only gloved hands pulling parachutes into the rocks before moonlight could catch the fabric. Then Webb looked up. 300 meters above them, the Iranian outpost. 3 dim lights glowed against the mountain. Inside that concrete bunker, 8 Iranian operators had no idea American forces were already beneath them. The climb was worse than the jump. Loose stone, sharp limestone. Every step could send rocks sliding into the darkness below. The Rangers moved slowly, carefully, silently. At 150 meters from the target, everything nearly went wrong. One Iranian guard stepped outside. He swept a flashlight across the slope. The beam moved lower, closer, then stopped. 3 Rangers froze against the rock. No movement, no sound, no breathing. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then the guard lowered the light, pulled out a cigarette, and turned away. That single mistake gave the Rangers their opening. Webb raised one hand. Move. 20 Rangers rose from the mountain like shadows. They covered the final stretch in seconds. By the time the guards heard boots on stone, it was already over. The eastern side was secured in 11 seconds. No alarms, no gunfire, no warning. Then the steel door opened, and the Rangers moved inside. The operations room was filled with screens, communications gear, tracking equipment, rows of electronics that had spent months watching the border. The Iranian operators looked up. Too late. Hands went into the air. Within seconds, the entire outpost was under control. At the exact same moment, 6 kilometers south, the second team transmitted 2 words. Bravo secure. Both targets were now in American hands, and the real mission could begin. Thermite charges were placed across the room. Power systems, radio racks, sensor controls, everything that made the outpost valuable. Because this was not just about destroying buildings, it was about blinding an entire section of Iran's western defense network. Webb checked the timer, then keyed his radio. All teams move. The Rangers began descending the mountain, fast, because once the charges ignited, everyone within miles would know something had happened. 200 meters down the slope, the mountain exploded in white light. Both outposts, same second, same blast. Thermite burned through metal like paper. Antennas collapsed. Servers melted. Communications died instantly. In less than 5 seconds, Iran's western surveillance network went blind. And for the first time in months, that entire corridor disappeared from Iranian radar. The Rangers kept moving. No one looked back. They did not need to. The mission was complete. Or so they thought. At the extraction point, engines were already running. Both teams reached the vehicles. 41 Rangers. Every man accounted for. Then Sergeant Park looked east and saw something nobody expected. 2 aircraft, flying low, no navigation lights, no radio signals, just dark shapes moving through the exact corridor that had just gone blind. Webb stared at them. Those aircraft were not American, and they were not random. They had entered the gap only minutes after the surveillance posts were destroyed. Too fast, too precise, too perfect. Someone had been waiting for that corridor to open. Webb grabbed the radio. Possible unknown aircraft moving through the blind zone. Silence answered back, because nobody knew what those aircraft were carrying. Nobody knew where they were going. and nobody knew who had known the network would fall that night. The mission had succeeded. Iran's eyes were gone, but something had already slipped through the darkness, and whatever it was, had been waiting for the border to go silent.